On your side at 5. Focused on you.
We are in a weather alert tonight. We have a wind advisory lasting for the next few hours, along with heavy rain for the evening commute. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Kelly Jackson.
And I'm Mike Bush. That rain will last for the next several hours. So let's start with meteorologist Jim Castillo. He's in our Weather First Weather Center. Go ahead, Jim.
Yeah, so what's going on? Whenever that rain finally starts up, it'll last 5-6 hours. And so it's been raining really heavily, or at least moderately. Cuba, Missouri, 1.8 inches. Then you get to Wentzville and also Sullivan and Warrenton. Everybody over an inch, and it's just beginning in St. Louis. Here's St. Charles now. You can see the low clouds too that are moving in with it, and there is that line of showers in here. No reports of anything severe, no thunder, no lightning, no flood advisories, but do expect some ponding on the roadways. Let's zoom in a little bit. Here's Pike County, Missouri, and all the way to Greene County, Illinois. Again, this rain not as heavy as it is just to the west of there, and then you have this band just beginning to move into Bridgeton and also Creve Coeur, eventually into the city. We've had some spotty showers within the city, and those flood advisories, the only one is outside of the viewing area to our south and west. But look at Rolla, Viburnum, Sullivan, also Bell, all these areas getting in on some really good soaking rain. So here's the area of low pressure, trailing cold front. That has to move through here, but that bigger band of rain is out ahead of it. And expected rainfall, well over an inch. Some areas already approaching 2 inches. Cuba, Missouri coming in at 1.8 inches so far. So here are the weather headlines. Windy, rainy this evening, then cold and breezy tomorrow. Or cold, it's definitely much colder than today. And then a frost or freeze Wednesday morning. More on that in just a few minutes.
And we have team coverage on the strong winds and rain tonight.
Tracy Henson's out on the roads in our Weather First Storm Tracker. Tracy, where are you and what's it doing where you are?
All right, we just passed Zumbel here and we're on St. Charles, heading eastbound on Interstate 70. This is the roads behind us. You can see that there's a good amount of spray coming off each and every car here, and that is really limiting our visibility. It's that spray off of the cars, you can see it as it passes us, that's causing a majority of the visibility concerns out here. We have seen just one car that somehow made it off the side of the road and down into a embankment there, and there's been some slowdowns off and on throughout you can see one up here coming up. Maybe you see those lights off to the left-hand side of your screen here. Not entirely sure what's going on there, but there have been some slide-offs, things like that, just from the wet conditions, and probably some visibility issues out there as well. As far as winds go, I would say our wind has gotten a little bit better than it was earlier when we were riding around. This is a pretty low profile car too. It was certainly blowing us around. So you're going to want 2 hands on the wheel throughout the rest of the night. In the 5 on Your Side weather tracker, I'm Tracy Henson, 5 on Your Side.
All right, Tracy, thanks. Over the past several hours, there have been a few crashes on Interstate 44. Just before 3:30, a semi crashed in Franklin County between St. Clair and Union. Eastbound lanes have been closed for about an hour. There was another crash just miles away just after that in the same direction. That shut down the interstate in Crawford County near Cuba. No word on how bad the crashes are or if there are any injuries.
Hundreds of Missouri Central school bus employees are at risk of being laid off. The bus company serves St. Louis Public Schools. It says its contract with the school district ends this summer. In a letter to local and state officials, the bus company said layoffs would start in late May, affecting about 332 full-time and part-time employees. We've reached out to St. Louis Public Schools for a response, but we have not heard back. Police and prosecutors are pushing back against false information about a violent attack involving 2 teenagers at Hazelwood East High School. 16-year-old Kaylee Gain has been moved out of the ICU and is stable after suffering a severe injury to her head.
A video of the attack quickly spread online, attracting tons of misinformation. Our political editor, Mark Maxwell, says some of it is coming from Missouri's Attorney General, Mark.
Attorney General Andrew Bailey wanted to make a political point about race. He ended up instead raising several questions about his own credibility. We went to verify his press release and letter threatening the Hazelwood School District with an investigation, and counted at least 7 different versions of falsehoods. First, it was just basic facts like the wrong date and time. Bailey also said Hazelwood removed uniformed police officers from its schools. That's false in at least 3 different ways. According to St. Louis County Police, ultimately that decision was the chief's decision, not the district's. According to Hazelwood Police, SROs have already been back in Hazelwood West after an agreement was unanimously approved by the Hazelwood City Council. And according to video we've reviewed, SROs, or people looking very much like them, have been spotted inside the halls of Hazelwood East as recently as March 7, the day before that incident in question. Bailey also said the entire community deserves answers on how Hazelwood's radical diversity, equity, and inclusion programs resulted in such despicable safety failures that has resulted in a student fighting for her life. St. Louis County Police said, "We're not seeing any kind of racial motivation in this fight." Bailey also said not a single school resource officer was on the scene to protect Miss Gain or restore order. That's misleading at best. St. Louis County Prosecutor Wesley Bell, a Hazelwood East alum, told us that school resource officers would never have been patrolling so far off campus where the fight happened.
We cannot politicize the safety and well-being of our children, and certainly not to score political points. And we do have a duty as folks in the executive branch, investigators, prosecutors for that matter, to be careful with our words.
Bailey may also have a credibility question with school administrators. In March of 2023, he told one of them, quote, "I don't intend to use the Sunshine Law as an offensive tool." He was trying to put them at ease after his predecessor sued so many schools for pandemic protocols. Now he's using that same tool. We've asked Bailey to explain his flip-flop. He declined an interview, and his office has not responded to a list of several detailed questions.
Mark, thanks. Right now, the major case squad is investigating a 19-year-old's death. Daniel Nunn was reported missing last week in Washington Park. His body was found Saturday in Cahokia Heights. Police say he was shot. Anyone with information about this is asked to call police or Crime Stoppers. You can leave an anonymous tip at 866-371-TIPS.
Minutes ago, a jury was seated in the case of a man charged with murdering a St. Charles woman. Joseph DeJoy is accused of killing Jackie Mitchell last year. She was missing for days before police found her body in his apartment in Maryland Heights. Police say the two knew each other. After his arrest, 2 other women came forward accusing him of sexual assault. He faces 11 felony charges, including second-degree murder, kidnapping, and rape. A number of Metro East business owners are concerned about an uptick of crime in their community.
5 on your side's Holden Kerwicki spent the day in Belleville looking into those concerns and what local leaders plan to do about it.
As the sign says, Belleville, Illinois has been called a great big small town. But a number of local business owners say they're experiencing big city problems with crime and homelessness.
According to crime data published by Belleville Police, the city saw a 2% drop in crime in 2023, but in the first 2 months of 2024, crime of all types is up by a staggering 49%. Belleville Police say the increase isn't unique to their community and can largely be attributed to the epidemic of thefts of Kias and Hyundais. However, business owners like Tisha Winkleman and Dave Dyer say the increase in crime is bad for business.
You know, we've got vacancies down here, my wife and I always say, what's the draw down here? I think it's dangerous. A lot of the places down here really closed up quite early now.
It does have me concerned as a business owner. I do wonder about security and that type of thing, but I've been, watching the area, and for the most part, it's pretty safe. You just have to, just like anywhere else, you have to be careful.
I took those concerns directly to City Hall and Belleville Police. Coming up at 6, I'll have more on their response. Reporting in Belleville, Illinois, Holden Kerwicki, 5 on your side.
Coming up.